Okay. Thank you. Next, Steve Schmittendorf is going to talk to us about membership.
Short and sweet, very quickly. Membership's going fine. We're at about maybe 270 right now, and that's usually a process through the summer. Sometimes it takes to September to get everyone to send the money in. So we keep working on it. Brian's done a really good job marketing, and also Bernhardt's done a great job as far as helping out with some of the membership goals this year. So if anyone has any questions, otherwise that's it.
Thank you, Steve. Okay, we're going to move things around in the agenda a little bit. Brian, who's our representative that has been engaged with the whole topic regarding the hotel proposal for the lake, we're gonna discuss that now because he needs to leave for another commitment.
Yeah, thanks everybody, and thanks Tom. So last summer, we polled our members, and our membership overwhelmingly opposed the plan to develop a 68-room hotel on the current Lindy site. So we had a tremendous response, which exceeded our membership. So there's quite a response, and over 90% opposed it. So here's an update on where it stands as we know about it. So the developer lost at the county level in October, and Tom and I were there representing the LBPIA and the membership in his bid to develop the site. The developer has since filed a lawsuit at the state level seeking that the county ruling be overturned. This is not an appeal as we understand it. We're working in close coordination with the Lake Beulah Management District, and the Lake Beulah Management District has joined forces with the county as a party in the suit for this reason. If the ruling goes against the county in favor of the developer, the Lake Beulah Management District can still pursue the case on their own. So that's kind of a backstop to it. So the Lake Beulah Management District is fielding many open requests from the developer's attorneys. That's part of the process. One of the leaders from the management district met with the developer in the wintertime, and the developer stated essentially that he is determined to pursue his plan for this 68-room hotel. So I think that we should understand that this gentleman is determined, and he's not going to be deterred by opposition at the county level, the town level, or the community or the local level, and that's his right. This case will come up in July or August, so that's the timing at which it will be reviewed. We continue to monitor the situation. We're coordinating with the Lake Beulah Management District, and we support the Lake Beulah Management District in its opposition to the planned development. So our message to you all is, as a community of folks who love the lake and care about its future, we suggest and recommend that you all stay vigilant. We need to plan for a long effort here because it's legal and that can stretch over months and years. And we ask you to support those who you think represent your interests, whether it's this organization right here, the LBPIA, or the LB Management District, with your time, your talents, your treasure, however you care to contribute and help. So our closing message is we just encourage you to stay informed, stay in touch with us, and get involved if you're so inclined on this important issue. And that's our update on the hotel. Comments or questions or thoughts on that?
Can you give me an idea what cost is to us?
I'm sorry?
What would be the legal cost to us so far, or are you just showing up at goodwill at this point?
Tom, you want to speak to that, or Steve?
Sure. If you look at the minutes on the treasurer's report, I believe last year our expenses were just over $3,000 for when we hired our own attorney to represent us in that case. This year, rather than having multiple organizations having multiple attorneys, there's been one attorney that's overseeing the issue, and we're pledging $2,500 for this calendar year towards that initiative.
Who's the attorney?
I believe it's Ron English.
That's right.
Does the DNR play a role in any of this in terms of groundwater or runoff or septic, or do they take a stance, or are they on one side or the other?
So I will just answer from my opinion that they have not taken a stance. From a permitting standpoint, there's requirements for all of the permits that would be required. That's when they would get involved and be a part of it to make sure that there isn't anything from a DNR perspective that is being being missed or is being misused or not meeting the requirements of the DNR. But it's not gotten to that stage yet. Anything else? Okay, thank you, Brian.
Thank you.
So going back to our committee reports, Tom Bernhardt is up next to give an overcap of the newsletter and what's happening there.
Well, wow, I could have jumped in so many times over the discussion of all these different things, but I have to say first that when we first started the newsletter was about 30 years ago, and helping me was somebody here today, Judy Skatarzak. I remember an instance where our layout person had taken out a word because, well, we couldn't possibly have meant that. So in my role as editor, you know, you have to make sure every word is just right. Well, this person took out a word, and Judy and I had to go through all 350 letters individually and put a disclaimer in there. I don't know if you remember that, Judy. That was a nightmare, and that's a labor of love. You know, nowadays, you know, we're a lot fancier, and thanks to the support of everybody. But as Steve was talking about earlier, membership is in the 300s. Yeah, I think we mailed this spring issue to a group of, say, 620 or 630. Okay, so if any of you got an issue with a flyer inside with that Protect Beulah thing, that was a solicitation for you to join, and all that was that you got it after the. We have to have a cutoff point in which we have to decide who's getting it or not, so you can join anytime. Now, if you didn't get a newsletter, that means that we don't have your correct address, and there's plenty of them here. Please take one. But that's, you know, it's critical really that we catch as many people as possible around the lake. Really, I don't see that we've changed the membership over the, you know, 30 plus years that I've been associated with the LBPIA. It's still pretty constant, which constant is good, but as Brian pointed out before, there's a lot of ways that we can do better. And so I just wanted to bring that up. Now the big issue with all Lakeviews is to get us all on the same page as far as the important things about the lake. And I think your name is Kim? Yeah, Kim pointed out she's very interested in water quality, and we all need to be. And a whole bunch of things came up today about water quality. One was on the carp fishing. I remember he was mentioning how when the carp disturb the bottom of the lake, and that causes problems. And of course, then we got into the issue with fertilizers. And the first article, The Other Side of the Water, which was in here, gives I think a little bit of an idea about why the bottom of the lake is so important. It's a neglected thing, and it's something that we all have to take some responsibility and interest in. We tend to ignore the bottom, but as I pointed out in the article, when we are here on a Friday, the water is very clear. But when we leave on a Sunday, it's pretty cloudy. And what's going on is that bottom gets stirred up, and that brings, the bottom is important, I'm told by the experts, that the bottom holds the phosphorus and things like that. But if we stir it up, it brings it up into water where it can stimulate growth of chlorophyll and just make a mess of the lake. So we really have, each of us has a role in responsible boating and being careful about how we treat the bottom of the lake. Well, so part of this would be maybe, you know, you're going to go as Brian suggested, which I thought was a great idea, reach out to your neighbors. We've got area chairs for that too. I don't know how many of you here are area chairs, but some of these articles can be conversation starters. So did you, especially because everybody has received this, whether they're a member or not. Now, the next issue won't be that way, but these aren't made you know, hopefully we can get this word out to a broader group of individuals. I guess finally, I would say, the newsletter, Lakeviews, is something that, only exists because of interest. So I thank all of you for your positive comments. I got quite a few, and that's heartening. And what's the term? You get more flies with honey than you do with vinegar. So that's a real nice thing. But I urge you, not just encourage you, but I urge you to reach out, say something to one of the board members or to me about what you'd like to read more about. Now, I heard today you want to read more about water quality. Well, there were 2 articles in here. In addition to that other side of the water, there was a big article on water quality written by Bob Nauta, who's a hydrogeologist who does a lot of work out here. And you know, his article, it talks about the trophic state index at different parts of Lake Eula and how it's different. But you know, the whole lake is connected, so we have to care about every part of the lake. We don't just care about what's right out in front of our property. So anyway, I guess I'll stop for now. And oh yes, thank you.
Do you post that on the website,
Yeah.
a copy of the newsletter? And have you thought of other ways of sharing that newsletter? I mean, Facebook or,
Well, I don't know that we've got a Facebook page.
We do.
Oh, we do, okay. We haven't talked about that as a board, but that could go on there. And these articles, they're not, you know, they're in public domain, so, you know, you can spread the word. As I was listening to some of the other comments and educating our neighbors about things, some of these articles could come out as individual papers that, you know, you could just say, here's a, you know, it would be, it's more expensive to produce something like this and mail it, but if we just had a page or 2 with, you know, something you could say here, because, you know, especially when, what did it say in this article? I said that, you know, it's easy, out of sight, out of mind. We don't think about the bottom, and we don't think about how I guess one of the things Bob Nauta said is, a lot of people are doing a lot of things that aren't good for Lake Eula, because, well, if everybody does it, it must be okay, you know, we just don't even think about that. So it's a good thing to be responsible and knowledgeable, and you guys that are here, this is your part of the choir. You know, we gotta get to the other people, and that's part of what we're trying to do, but I think that we got some opportunities coming up to do that. Thank you for your support.
thank you.
Thank you, Tom. Okay, next we have Jim Blomberg on website.
Oh, thanks. Good morning, again. First of all, I want to thank Rob Hudson for his many years of service getting us to where we're at. If you recall, our old website had multiple versions. You try to log on, it wouldn't always work, and it wouldn't get you anywhere. He got rid of all that. It doesn't come up anymore. We have a brand new, well-structured website to go forward with. But Rob is no longer supporting us. He's moved on. He's done a great job for us, but we're now looking for someone else. So what I'm here to ask you this morning is we're reaching out to the lake community generally. So yourselves, your family members, your grandkids, people who love the lake or part of the lake community, who want to, and are expert or well-versed at web development and web maintenance and support, to come and join our team as a webmaster. Because Rob has gotten the website already up and running, we're looking for someone, 1 or 2 hours a week or every other week. It goes up and down, like around the time in the hotel, we were more active. But most of the time, it's just posting the newsletter to the website, making sure that the do's and don'ts of living on the lake are on the website and are in the right spot, things like that. So I'm asking you, please, if you know someone, and we have a, generous is maybe an overstatement, but we have a respectable stipend that goes along with this responsibility. And I'd love to talk to them if they're interested, or you can nominate someone. So please do that. And that's really the long and short of it. I guess another thing I'd ask is, how often do you go to the website for information? Once a month, when there's an issue, to look at the pictures? Anything?
All of those.
All those. Okay, so
Once in a while.
what would you like to see on the website that's not there now? So for now, it meets your expectations.
Fertilizer
Yes, it
articles,
does.
I think.
Well, I think that's, the fertilizer article is very, we're
I
gonna
know
pull
it
up,
is.
Yeah.
Is there a link to the e-version of the newsletter?
I beg your pardon?
Is there a link to the newsletter?
Without, there will be.
Mhm.
I don't think we posted it yet, but
Past
there's an
issues,
archive
but-
of all the past newsletters are archived, as will this one. All right? Thank you. So please, and please send it to, the info, .org is not working. So you can send it to my personal email, which is in the newsletter. We had a posting in the newsletter. Please send it to that email.
Have you thought about subcontracting this function?
Worst case, it would cost a lot more. And kind of what we want is someone who understands our community and is passionate about the community.
What
That's a
technology is being
backup.
used?
I beg your
What
pardon?
technology is being used?
Squarespace.
WordPress?
Squarespace.
Squarespace?
It's like a WordPress, current version of WordPress. Easier to
It
use.
shouldn't take too much website development, coding to work in, it's already set up and it's
It's using the tools.
like a regular editor, like a text editor tool.
Ma'am?
You know, I'm a little off topic right now, but we're new to the area, we're on the channel, and, as part of, I know it's not on the lake, but it still flows into the lake and all that, and there just doesn't seem to be a lot of information about the channel that we're aware of anyway. Is there information somewhere about how that incorporates into the lake, or,
Which channel?
Beulah Heights, Austin Road, that channel by the
Austin
Goat,
Road.
on the other side of Goat Island there?
We can, why don't you come and see me after the meeting, we can talk about.
Okay,
what
I
you're
have a
looking at.
whole history of it.
you do? Okay.
Okay? Thank you.
Welcome.
Anyone else? All right, thank you. Please think about a nomination.
Okay, so that's it for our committee reports, unless there's anything else that I may have missed that the board wants to bring up at this time. Okay, next on the agenda, I had Dave Bitter to give an update of what's happening with the Lake Beulah Management District, and I do not see Dave. Yep. Okay, instead we have Stan Alger, who's going to give us that report. Yay, Stan.
Stan Auger, Lake Beulah Management District Vice Chair. Dave couldn't be here today, so he had prepared a statement for me to read, and I'll do the best I can in answering any questions you might have. Thank you for this opportunity to bring you up to date on the activities of the district. I am sorry that I'm not available to speak to you personally, but an important family matter has come up. With the Hotel Beulah was very well covered before, so consequently the only thing I can add is that we're constantly working with the attorney and trying to keep up to date. The judge had an injunction to stop the discovery until July. And after that time, the case will resume, and as soon as we know more from our attorney, we will of course keep you informed as well as we can. We've been requested by the LBPIA to contribute $1,000 to the fish stocking element. While it has not been made official at the meeting at the time, but we are confident that we will prevail and they will get their money from us in the future. Our district annual meeting has not been set, but it'll be in late August or early September, and we are establishing our annual budget and be electing 2 new commissioners. The terms of John Becker and Chris Kubicek will be expiring. We invite all people to come at that meeting, and you'll get the update of what's going on at any particular time. We have been in contact with the DNR regarding our aquatic plant harvesting permit. We will let Stan, that's me, to report to you on that. In addition, there have been some talk about renewing our master plan. It was discovered at our last meeting, and I will be in conversation with the DNR, LBPIA, and others to determine if it should be undertaken at the time and other factors. I'm happy to say that our newsletter is in the mail or will soon be. Please check it for additional information of things important to the lake. Our website, I would like to suggest that all of you also check our website for meeting agendas, news, updates, and minutes of previous meetings, among other items. Thank you very much for this opportunity, Dave Bitter. As far as aquatic plant harvesting, every 5 years, we have to renew our permit for harvesting. And so this year, we have to go through a lake survey of the aquatic plants in order to prepare for our new harvesting, which will be next year. This is our 5th year for this last particular one. The purpose of this, of course, is to update where the aquatic plants are, what we need to harvest, what we need to protect, and how we go about it. So the DNR require us to do this in order to get our new permit. And that'll be underway sometime this summer in trying to accomplish that. I'm sure everybody has questions about the lake level. I'm sure we all have our opinion whether it's high or low. We do have a monitoring device on the weir of the dam on Mill Lake on J Road there. And I've been informed that it's just a slightly bit low or about where it should be normally. However, in the spring of the year, we're usually higher, but because of the rain, we haven't been where we would normally be. But the lake is basically where it should be at this particular time, normally. But as you know, over the several years, nothing has been normal. We've been working with the lake. That's basically my report. If there's any questions, I'll try to answer them. I don't know everything.
I just wanted to thank the management district because when I called to inquire about buoys on Mill Lake, especially with the boats, I talked to Stu, your son, and he assured me they'd be put in, and they were. So we appreciate that very much.
Thank you, thank you. Oh, another thing too. You know, you're able to put any of the aquatic plants on your pier for pickup throughout the week, then they will make it. Unfortunately, our John boat motor is down, and so we won't be able to do anything for at least another week or so, so please be patient with us. If it goes longer than that, we will get our transporter around to pick them up as much as possible. We'd like to remind you, please, no sticks, stones, or muck in those aquatic plants, because the people that like to have us give it to them for their gardens and things don't care for the sticks, stones, and muck in them. And of course, our site that we dump all of our aquatic plants doesn't like them either. So we appreciate any help that we can get from you when you rake up the floaters and have them picked up. Any other questions?
Dan?
Yeah.
I'd like to, I'd like to compliment the Lake Management District and specifically your group that handles the weed cutting, because when we first started seeing Eurasian water milfoil on the lake, it was being cut, but then there were a lot of drifting of cuttings, and it ended up rooting itself in other places. But that isn't happening at all anymore. I don't see a lot of cut weeds floating and drifting, not like I used to. And so I put that on the people that are doing the job now. They're really trying to collect all the cuttings, because that's really important from spreading.
Yes, when we have people who've been returning with our group, they get better every year. So hopefully we can keep, we've got one person, Tracy, who's been with us now for quite some time, and he's been doing an excellent job in we hire college students. And the one we have has been with us for about 3 years, so they've been improving, and thank you for your confidence on that. Anything else?
I know zebra mussels kind of come and go, but we had a lady down the way indicate she thought there were a lot more on their pier anyway than boat lift. So does anybody like monitor that, or does it have a big effect on things?
Again, please?
Zebra mussels.
Oh, it's a cyclical time. They were down for a few years, but now we are experiencing a growth of them this year. So they come back. It all kind of depends on the nutrients in the lake, because that's where they get their feed. In fact, they are a hindrance to the fish population because they take a lot of their nutrients out. They died off for a few years, and now they're coming back. So it's just something that goes up and down, and there's no way that we can treat them to get rid of them. We just have to try to keep them from coming in, and that's of course the boat traffic. They bring in a lot of the invasive aquatic plants from other places, and That's what we're constantly fighting against. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, next we have Joe Klarkowski. He's gonna give us an update on the East Troy, ward.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I was watching the radar quite a bit yesterday, because as you know, if it gets any drier, there'll be more serious problems with crops, etc. And I was watching this big red blob over Lake Beulah that came from the area of Oconomowoc and North Prairie and other parts, and I'm so finally I'm gonna get some rain, right?